1984, the military government of Muhammadu Buhari jailed Fela Kuti for allegedly smuggling foreign exchange outside Nigeria. The late Afrobeat creator went on to spend 20 months in prison, and upon his release, the musician was as defiant, as bold as ever. Fela spoke about his prison experience in an interview granted after he regained his freedom. The interview, republished by Reeling in the years, sees the Afrobeat legend talk about embracing boredom in prison, developing his thought process, and arming himself for an encore behind bars. He said, "Prison didn't change my life, it developed my way of thinking. I am very spiritually inclined. I am in prison. It gave me a lot of time to meditate and think about what this world is really about. It gave me knowledge about time. If anybody tells me 20 years is a long time, I would tell him no, because prison has taught me that time is meaningless unless you want to understand what time is all about. I did not think about music in the prison, but maybe a few times some sounds came into my head, but I don't write them down. Maybe just Then, what I did in prison was to play games. I tried not to talk too much. I tried to remain my by myself. I just tried to meditate. That is all I did. You see, prison is supposed to get you bored. So when people go in there, they try not to get bored. So I tell myself, okay, you want to make me bored, I am going to get myself bored so that I will not be afraid to go in next time. So I go in there to understand what boredom is about. So it gave me a knowledge about patience. Those are the kind of things prison has taught me. I am prepared to go back. I am really prepared. Indeed, Fela was prepared, as he would go on to have more brushes with the law before his death in 1997. So the bone of contention here is that a lot of people have been airing their own view concerning not only what he said, but the reason why he was in prison and during the Buhari's military regime, and now, and a lot of people that say Buhari has been able to lock behind bars, a typical of a Nnamdi Kanu. And some people have a different opinion concerning this. Well, Kuti remain an evergreen legend. Fela is reigning more than the so-called president. He was jailed for the offenses he wasn't found guilty of. Remember, the judge that jailed him apologized to Fela when Fela was on sick bed at the hospital. That very day, Fela exposed the federal government, saying the judge unexpectedly saw him at the hospital and begged him that it was the military junta that said he was found him guilty. All the evening newspapers flashed it on front pages. The federal government was embarrassed and they released him immediately. And that is exactly what we are seeing today. Just like Buhari is telling us that Nnamdi Kanu, he doesn't have a hand in releasing him, that he does not have interfere in judiciary, because they are supposed to be independent, but in the recent, are they independent? Is it a Lawan that is the president, senate, or senate president that you think, or you want to tell me both lower and upper chamber that are really independent? Forget all of those stories. Those things that have been happening, and that's why most of the time people refer to Fela, because it was as if, all of those things that were being said at that time would have changed the narratives, but they are getting worse. You can imagine if the man was to be alive today, what he will be rolling in his mind. So all this while, nothing has changed. And when people begin to come out and say, oh, those who are agitating, they are wasting their time, this and this and this and that, you will see that those things that caused the agitation or the Biafra war at that time, it was as if those things that made them to go into war or made them to agitate that time, when you compare it with the problem we have now, it's like the problems then was just like 30%, and what we have now is like even over 100% that we have. You can imagine that All of those things that happened then that would have shaped us, he didn't. And they expect people to fold their arms and begin to say, because this, because of that, then we are going to be looking, and things are getting worse on a daily basis. Then people should be quiet. Any little thing they will tell you, don't forget, hey, war is not something that one should be encouraging. But things that will cause war are happening. Those who are acting with impunity, who call themselves leader, they are doing worse things that will cause war. They will not blame those ones. They will blame those who are reacting to the actions of those leaders. That is where we have found ourselves. And some people are like, oh, so Buhari has been in this wicked act. So it didn't just start today. And some people tell you that it is even the so-called Yorubas that even it happened to their son. They are the ones who are still voting, who are still rallying around them. Who would have thought that in 2015, they were the one that really supported him? But see what is happening now. Everybody is regretting. Seriously, everybody is regretting. You can imagine such a thing. Well, human rights na my property. Animal dey wear agbada. Abamieda, rest on. Fela, wetin you go sing about? Then they worry me. You can imagine Buhari has been in this game all his life. He has his reward from God Almighty. Yoruba will never learn from their mistakes because they are already greedy for money to sell their fellow brothers to Fulani Esme in Aso Rock. Did that stop the Yorubas? Even while the man was put behind bar unjustly, would that stop them from voting Buhari again? Still, the Yoruba supported him this time around. Abia long live your memories. Kuti, Baba Nla. Okay, you this shouting say Baba in 2015, you will endure till 2023 detention. No, they keep person. May the soul of the great activist of all time in Nigeria and possibly Africa rest in peace, and the good Lord to comfort his family. Igbo, I don't know what this one is like, trying to let us know here. Baba na Baba, Baba for all Nigeria politicians, Baba for Buhari. Till today, Buhari, the president of Nigeria, has no good thing attached to his name except boredom. He will pay for all the things wrong he has done and those defecting to make life worse for their generation. Buhari has been doing it for long. Bad lifestyle, taking innocent people for a criminal, and is in fully support of Nigeria criminal bandits. Now Buhari jailed the innocent man. The legend lives on. The same Buhari gone. No be another one. The same Buhari again. And it is happening. It is still happening. And it baffles me. All the people that they have accused of doing one thing or the other, they cannot even conclude their matter and jail them. At the end of the day, they will still release them. Somebody like Dasuki and Ezazaki just kept them for that long. At the end of the day, what is happening? I don't understand. It's just unfortunate. So it didn't, with Igboho and Nnamdi Kanu, it didn't just start now.